Hello everyone and welcome to the channel for the Game Week 1 preview video. In the Game Week preview series, I try to go through a lot of topics and give my opinion on them. This will help you make your decisions better. So if you're new to the channel and would like to go through this Game Week series every Game Week, please like the video, subscribe and put on the notification bell. Just before I get to it, I would like to let you know that before time of recording, I haven't gotten much information in terms of press conferences from managers, but I'll try as much as possible to go through topics that would be important to you and you find helpful. So to get started, I would like to talk about the template team. I'll go through this template team and tell you what I genuinely think of it and some personal opinions about the players. So to start off with Mendy. Mendy is not a bad option in goal, especially because it's priced at 5 million. We saw that they've reduced the price of goalkeeper this season and Mendy is no longer priced at that high premium price of 6 million. So starting in goal with Mendy is not a bad option. At some point in time in this season, I feel Chelsea defense is going to be one that is quite good. But start of the season, I don't necessarily think they will be very impressive. But having a goalkeeper 5 million of Mendy to start the season is not a bad option. The defense position looks quite solid, and I could understand why Trent Alexander-Arnold and Cancelo are part of it. But talking about Reece James, is there because he had a very wonderful season last year, and I wouldn't blame managers for bringing him in. But to start off the season, once again, I don't feel Chelsea defense will be very confident. After losing a major player like Rudiger in the back, we've seen them struggle in preseason, and it's something that could go on for a while. Yeah, they've brought in the likes of Koulibaly to strengthen the back, and rumors of Cucurella getting in. I feel with so many unknowns and uncertainties, their defense is not one to store with. There have been talks about Reece James also playing in the right centre-back position, and if Reece James doesn't play at the right wing-back position, we won't see the likes of him and very prolific Reece James we've known. So I understand why he's being picked, but I still don't see him starting off the season in an excellent form. Then going over to Perisic. It's not a bad option, especially seeing that he was part of Conte's team in Inter Milan. He's back to reunite with the coach, and we could see him do wonders. He's very good in his feet too, could cross with either foot, and is highly attacking. Lots of managers seem very uncertain whether he will build a nailed-on wing-back for them, but I don't think there's a problem with him, seeing that in the last game against Roma, he had over 70 minutes to play and did quite well. So until he returns to full fitness and is integrated into the squad very well, I feel he's going to do quite well. But the start of the season, there's so many unknowns about him. Going on to midfield, it's quite understandable why Salah is there, and we don't need to overemphasize it. But looking at other players, there's Martinelli. I went on to talk about what I think about Martinelli in my last video, where I talked about my team selection for Game Week 1. So if you've not watched it, give it a watch now. And then Luis Diaz seems to have fallen into the template team as the only one amongst the 8 million price midfielders. It's quite understandable why he's there, because ever since he came in January, he had the very wonderful second half of last season. And on seeing him in pre-season, he has done quite well. But to start the season, I still feel the best 8 million midfielder to start the season with is Saka. And then Neto being in template is quite understandable, seeing that he's priced at 5.5 million and has been highly prolific in pre-season action. We also know Neto as an FPL option in past seasons, though he always struggles with fitness and injuries. But this season, at that price, is quite a bargain, especially if he starts and keeps up going, playing as a striker for Wolves. And then looking at the forward, Jesus is definitely there because he's picked by over 70% of managers already in the game. But looking at Haaland, I feel he's backed by many managers because of their confidence in him and what he has done in the past. Though he has not quite made the mark for Man City in pre-season, they've not also had much games to go through. But Haaland seems like a good pick, and the whole Man City team seems to give him very high support. He's definitely going to succeed, especially with provisions from players like KDB, Grealish and other midfielders who are in the team. Man City also had quite a very good fixture to start the season, but this is understandable. Early this morning, somebody sent me a message on Twitter, was asking me who could be the best pick out of Manchester United attackers. So I thought it could be a good discussion option for the Game Week preview. So looking at how they've lined up under Ten Hag in the preseason, the attack is being spearheaded by majorly Rashford, Martial and Sancho. Though the manager hasn't gone out of the way to say that these are the major 3 players he's going to attack with it all through the season. But he has gone to signal that he likes the chemistry that is going on between them. He has also mentioned that Ronaldo is yet to return to full fitness, given that he just joined the side weeks ago. So from a personal opinion, I definitely see Manchester United starting with these 3 players up front. And looking at them with their price tags, Rashford is not a bad option. But out of the 3 of them, I think the player that is going to be highly successful amongst them is Sancho. Though he's priced at 7.5 million and could be one that is very tricky to fit in. If you decide to take a punt on him, it may be worthwhile. Going into this video, I thought a lot about having this
discussion, but it's one that is unavoidable. The Harry Kane versus Haaland discussion. Because of their price tag, it will be very difficult to own these two players and still fit in the likes of Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold into your team. So many managers have opted to go for one. If you have to make a decision between these two players, it's pretty much a 50-50 for me, given that Haaland has come into the league in a team like Man City with a very wonderful record and could prove to be fatal. And then Harry Kane has gone to proving himself as one of the very top strikers in the league over the past seasons. Lots of managers have talked about these two players in the community, and most of them have come up with the strategy to own them. Because Man City plays West Ham away from home in the first fixture, some have decided to start with Harry Kane up front for GAMEWEEK 1 where he plays Southampton at home, and decided to make a switch to Haaland where he faces Bournemouth in GAMEWEEK 2 and have a wonderful set of easy fixtures. It's not a bad strategy, and I can understand why this is done. But looking at two of them, it seems that they are premium and have a very high price. I think if you want to switch between these two players, the major reason to back up this switch should be if you would like to captain them. So seeing that as from GAMEWEEK 2, Man City fixtures get easier, if you would like to captain Haaland in GAMEWEEK 2, then switching from Kane to Haaland in GAMEWEEK 2 is not a bad option. Worth noting that as from GAMEWEEK 2, due to Haaland's high ownership, if he eventually plays up to 60 minutes, he could go up in price. So it could be worth keeping 0.5 million in your bank in order to afford the switch. And then the last point I'm going to talk about is captaincy. I went on to start a community group chat on WhatsApp for members of the FPL community and did a poll for players who they would love to captain. This seems to be the result of the poll. I'll try as much as possible to represent this in a better way in the coming game weeks, but these are the results. It's quite interesting to see that the majority of them are still on Salah. Exactly 50% of managers still are of the opinion of captaining Salah in the first game week, where they face Fulham away. And I would understand this because Salah has proven to be one of the best assets in the game so far, and also have had a very good run of first fixtures in the past years. There seems to be a tie and conflict between Gabriel Jesus and Harry Kane, both having 18.4 percentage pick each. This doesn't necessarily indicate that Gabriel Jesus wants to match with Harry Kane, but given that he faces Crystal Palace on Friday and has had a very wonderful preseason, it could be a good captain pick. My pick is still undoubtedly on Salah, and it could be the one I'll captain into the game week. Just before I end this video, I'd like to remind you of the Twitter space I've scheduled for the deadline. The deadline space will go on 1 hour before the deadline of every game week for the whole season. I've placed the link in the description below for you to set a reminder for this space, and I've also placed a link for you to join in my WhatsApp community. Do well to join in and be part of it, as more information could come your way by doing so. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please drop a like on it, subscribe and put on the notification bell. Ciao and have a lovely game week 1.